The following episode contains content that some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Zoe,
And I'm Kaz,
and this is Tea, Crumpets and Horror.
a very British podcast.
I'll listen to you.
Hello.
Hey!
Welcome to our mini episode.
I don't like calling it a mini episode.
What do you want to call it then?
An episode that is not as long as the others.
I hate that. We could call it like a tuck episode, which is like afternoon tea.
Oh, an aperitif.
An aperitif. That's very French.
It is a little bit.
A midnight snack.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, there's plenty of things we could call this, but we're not going to call them. We probably should think about this a bit more.
Yeah, we'll have a think about it.
Okay.
See what we think.
You know we are recording, right?
Yep.
Okay. Did you want to keep all that in, or do you want to cut it out?
No, I'm happy to keep it in.
Okay. So
I mean, I've got nothing to hide.
I've got plenty of things to hide.
Well, they've got enough cupboards for it.
Yeah, we do. So this is our short episode in which one of us tells the other one some short tales of mystery and intrigue.
Basically anything that sort of isn't long enough to be a full episode, really, I suppose.
Which sounds like my day. It's not long enough to be a full podcast, but let me give you some highlights. Embarrassing thing I did today is on Teams, I accidentally rang my entire team and they all answered. And I was like, no, sorry, no. I left and Sherry had to go back and tell them all that I didn't need them because they were all just sat in this meeting waiting, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. Had to go back and be like, sorry, everyone. But I did get out of one meeting. I just tried to start another one, evidently.
you need that.
I was like, I really
meeting.
need that extra 1 hour of meeting every day of my life. I really don't. So I managed to avoid a meeting and nearly accidentally create a meeting. So that was my day. How was your day?
My day was all right. So I was in virtual training.
Was that why you kept saying blue?
Yeah.
Blue! Blue! No, you're going to have to choose blue. I gotten fed up with hearing the word blue.
Yeah, we were playing this game. Turns out that we're really bad negotiators.
That's worrying.
Yeah, so basically the idea of the game was, I think you were supposed to work with the other team to basically have a win-win or sacrifice yourself so the other team could win.
A win-win.
But the problem is I get very,
Are you like super competitive and like, no, fuck you. You can sacrifice yourself. I'm right.
This is the problem. I get really competitive, so I couldn't sacrifice for the greater good. And even then, like, the other team decided to sacrifice, and it just made me really angry.
No, we could have worked through this, but you didn't put enough
I was like,
effort
no,
in.
I want to win fair and square. I mean, which we didn't. We drew, I think.
I suppose that's a win on everybody's a winner that takes part. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
I hate that. It really
But
annoys me.
the trainer said that we scored the worst out of every group that he has ever done this for.
Wow.
So
That's not a compliment.
no. I wore that badge with pride, though. I mean,
You're like, I'm not a prideful person, but I am actually quite pleased that we got the worst scores ever.
Yeah. I also nearly listened to a whole episode of Not the Radio.
What's Not the Radio?
So that's the one that Dylan Evans and Graham Smith do.
Yeah.
So I decided to put my money where my mouth is and found them on Spotify after getting the name of the podcast wrong several times. So it's actually called the NTR podcast, but it stands for Not the Radio.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually pretty well done.
That's good. They look like they've got a proper nice setup. I don't know if they do
Yeah.
like a uni or they've got like a studio they hire,
I don't know.
whereas we just sit in our chairs in our lounge.
Yeah,
This is very professional.
you get to hear sort of what goes on around us.
I don't know. You probably just heard me drinking water, and you probably about 6 million times heard me like mouth breathe into the radio, the mic, and
Last episode, I was trying not to burp.
I did that, but
I
it was very
don't-
silently.
I don't feel that
I
we
think
are
I
quite at the
sneezed as
level of
well.
friendship with our listeners.
I thought you were going to say with
burp.
me. I was like, oh,
Oh,
you
I
might
just mouth breathed.
you might have a problem there, being that we're related.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, sorry, listeners, we won't burp in your face just yet. We're not Karen and Georgia. We can't do that.
No. So something else I sort of read, well, that really interests me today.
Yeah.
So a group of, well, I say a group, a number of ex-rugby players
Yes.
are bringing a class action
Yes.
against the rugby authorities. Now, I did read about this yesterday initially,
Yes.
but obviously we didn't record yesterday, so I'm bringing it in now because, as you know from our first episode, actually no, you
No,
don't.
you don't know.
No, you don't know. So we are a bit of a rugby fan.
Family, yeah.
Yeah, so our dad used to play rugby in the army, coached rugby, basically has watched every single England game.
Took us to see New Zealand versus Argentina when we lived over there, which was cool.
I've seen England play Canada.
Oh, have you? That's cool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you have, haven't you?
Yeah. Seen a couple of Army versus Navy games. Those
Yeah.
are always good days.
Yeah, they are.
And then we also saw Quins versus Saints.
Yes, that was the most confusing and upsetting ending to a game ever.
Yes, but well, for you, yes, but not for me.
Yeah, we are not fans of the same team. So I'm a Harlequins fan, and Zoe is a
Northampton
Saints fan.
Yeah.
And at the end of this match, they went to Quins had technically won, and they went to kick the ball off, but the guy who kicked it didn't do it properly, and someone caught it and scored a try because technically it was still in play. And I have never been more devastated about seeing something like that in my whole life. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime kind of experience, but that was very upsetting. But yeah, anyway.
So yeah, this class action's coming because they're alleging that they are basically all got permanent brain damage and early onset signs of dementia.
Yeah, one of the Welsh players is saying some of the Welsh players are saying they've got it as well, and one of the guys from the 2003 World Cup winning team says he doesn't even remember.
Steve Thompson,
doesn't remember playing that final game or winning the World Cup.
So I mean, this kind of is quite interesting really, because I know there's been sort of more and more talk coming about this whole like CTE, how it might have impacted particularly players in the National Football League in America. So there was there was no suggestions. It was quite obvious that Aaron Hernandez had it. He had the worst case of it that they'd seen in someone of his age. It does seem like they are sort of trying to put measures in place to learn more about how the impact of concussion and how to spot it earlier. But it'll be interesting to see how this sort of plays out, really.
Yeah, I don't think, because there's a lot of class actions for various things, and I don't see how they don't really come to a conclusion. Nothing really changes usually. It's just a slap on the wrist and we won't go to court kind of situation.
I mean, class actions, they had one in America that was by American football players, and they were quite successful in that. They did win a rather large sum of money.
I'm going to tell you that what did I find out just now? I've just found this thing that's like, capitalist insanity. A scientist paraphrases that by the year 2020, the inhabitants of the world will be insane. I mean, he's not wrong.
No.
And what else did I find today? I just found some fun stuff. Last night I was just sort of scrolling through Instagram, and someone just delightfully posted that at the 1991 VMAs, Prince wore an assless suit.
I feel like I remember this.
It's really great. It's like a yellow, it looks like it's been laser cut. I don't know if it has. And it's assless. And then I found an article where someone was like, oh, it's not his design. I was like, it's not assless. He's got like, it's 2 panels of very skin coloured fabric. And I'm like, nobody believes you.
Were you there?
I wasn't there.
Did you touch it?
What, me personally, or the
No,
designer?
this person.
It's the designer of the suit.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Prince's fashion designer.
Okay. So
I mean, why would you ruin our fun?
Yeah.
Like the idea that Prince would just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna have my ass out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like Prince would.
He probably would have. Yeah. So, are you ready to get into why really we're boring these people?
You were boring them. I was like telling them about Prince's ass.
Might be like that.
Yeah. Okay, but you can go for it.
Okay, so I have decided that tonight I am going to talk about some haunted places in Brighton, East Sussex. I say it like that because I always get confused whether it's East Sussex or West Sussex.
I think we're smack bang in the middle. So we could be East or West Sussex.
Well, anyway, in Sussex. So, yeah, we obviously have a nice long history with Brighton because it used to be near where we grew up.
Like you said, grew up, like, kind of. Barely.
So we visited Brighton quite a bit when we were younger. Though, fun fact, I didn't actually go out clubbing in Brighton until 3 years ago. Yeah, it must have been about 3 years ago when we went to the Festival of the Dead.
Yes, it was. And then we decided to move here.
Yeah, we did. Right. So, I am going to get Kaz to guess.
I don't know how successful I'm going to be at this.
I'm going to get Kaz to guess a couple of things. So, I'm either going to get her to guess how many types of ghosts there are in one area, or...
Wait, types of ghost?
Yes, you'll get it when I read it out. You'll understand what I mean. Or where these ghosts are supposedly haunting, and then I will also tell you a little nice story about them. One of them is actually I think it's really popular actually, but I personally hadn't heard of it until recently. So all of this information that I have received is either from britishparanormal.co.uk. There is also another website by the name of paranormaldatabase.com. Brighton and Hove Independent did a few things. And there is also a live underground and tunnels tour for Brighton. There's like a massive maze of like tunnels.
Oh my God,
Brighton.
I kind of want to go on this, but I'm also pretty sure I'm just going to crap my pants.
I don't know. They don't look particularly spooky, but they just look really fascinating. So like there's some that's actually linked to the pavilion where some sort of noble used to go see his horses.
So King George tunnels to go and see his horses.
Yes, so King George IV used to go and visit his riding school and his stables in the area which is now where the Brighton Dome is.
Okay.
And they did think that originally that he built them to be able to go and see his rather illegal wife, Maria Fitzherbert.
Rather illegal wife?
Yeah, who also is alleged that she haunts the Brighton Dome.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to clarify what you mean by rather illegal wife.
I don't know. It just says here that she's
just illegal.
His illegal wife, yeah. So yeah, but that is actually inaccurate. So
legal or illegal?
Illegal.
What?
Must have married her outside of.
Married to someone else?
Without a wedding license.
Oh wait, did they need wedding licenses back then?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Why weren't you there? Why don't you know these things? You're terrible.
So yeah, but anyway, and I actually got an invitation to go on this underground tour, but it was like a live virtual event because obviously you can't go at the moment. But before things got a little bit crazy and you weren't allowed to leave your house in fear of being arrested or death, people did used to be able to go on actual physical tours and go and see. But yeah, apparently there's like a whole network down there, and they've got all these kind of really cool vaults and kind of things. I don't know if they found anything like super exciting, but I'll look into it and then I mean,
that's pretty exciting. It's just kind of making me feel like the fact I looked up the Glastonbury tour today because I got a little bit confused what it was, and then like just realized that anybody outside of England would have no fucking clue. I guess I would say maybe outside of the UK and maybe Ireland would not have a fucking clue if you were like, this is a tour and it's a fucking hill with a monument on it. Well, it's like a tower on it. It's not the tower, it's the hill. And people would be like, what? Why? But yeah, there's a lot of history behind. That's just very confusing.
Okay, so are you ready?
I guess so.
Okay. So how many ghosts which are hangmen does Brighton and Hove have?
Oh my god, 750. Am I being stupid? That's way too many.
Yeah.
12.
Sure?
Yeah.
No, 2.
Oh.
So there's the hangman of Hangleton, and then there's also this lovely chap called James Botting. So I'm going
There's a lovely chap called James Botting. I feel like you're being sarcastic.
I am. So I'm actually going to talk about James Botting. So this is about 170 years ago, and he used to be the hangman for Newgate Prison in London. So he was their executioner for a number of high-profile condemned prisoners. He even executed Henry Fauntleroy in 1824, who was the last man to ever be put to death for forgery.
Okay. And what? So after that, forgery became a non-death by.
Yeah, so the sentence was no longer.
No.
death
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
forgery,
You don't get that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that made no sense.
He also executed the Cato Street conspirators, including his own close neighbour, a butcher from Cranbourne Street, by the name of James Ings. So yeah, he's not a very nice.
So he's just sort of hanging everybody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was his job too. So by the time he had retired, he had become pretty much reviled. Everybody hated him, thought he was just, evil, and he developed cerebral palsy.
Terrible palsy or
Yes.
cerebral palsy?
No, cerebral palsy.
What the heck is terrible palsy?
I think it's just palsy.
But terrible.
Yes,
Like, because it's not bad enough.
And it left him paralysed down one side of his body.
Oh.
So he was basically forced to haul himself around on a primitive homemade wheelchair. Something tells me that being a hangman wasn't a particularly well-paying job.
No, I feel like I thought there was a reason why they had like hoods and stuff so people didn't know who they were. So like people wouldn't be like, it's you dickhead, I'm not hiring you.
This could be it. I suppose the other thing also, this might also indicate why he wasn't a very nice or liked person, sorry. So he was also a heavy drinker, and he soon developed a reputation for being a nasty drunk.
Okay.
So allegedly he did lead quite a chaotic life, but he met his end on the 1st of October in 1837 when he was making his way home after a visit to the gin shop.
I just wanted to say that I swear I heard someone tell a story that was basically like some guy, I don't know if he'd had like his legs amputated or he was born without legs, that used to like drag himself around in a makeshift wheelchair that was basically like a tub and killed loads of people.
Oh, Billy the Bull.
Is that it? Yeah. Is that a Scottish thing?
No, that's an Irish one.
Oh, that's mental.
Yeah, that was the Murder Ladies did that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I remember that
Yes,
one.
that was a Karen story.
Yes, it was Karen's story.
So yeah, he met his end and now...
So he was making his way home. He basically was trying to get his wheelchair over the uneven and poorly maintained lanes of Hove, which is not really much different from now.
I was going to say, not much has improved.
No. He hit a rut and basically ended up on the ground, and his wheelchair broke as well, so he basically couldn't get up. Though he cried out for help, no one actually came to help him.
That's kind of sad.
In fact, passerbyers actually would stand around laughing and mocking him.
Oh.
And then he finally died.
Bag of dicks.
Yeah, so interestingly, this is where a supermarket on Western Road, Western Road is. So it says Hove, so I'm gonna go and guess that it was where Waitrose is.
Oh my god.
But is Waitrose actually in Hove?
No. It's in Brighton, technically.
But there are technically no other supermarkets.
Unless it's like...
technically down that road.
Are we saying like it's a supermarket or are we saying like it's like an express? Because then it could be like Tesco's or Sainsbury's.
Yeah, but it just says supermarket. So I feel that's a bit misleading because they are like slightly different things, aren't they? The metros and the expresses.
Are.
That was the really sad story of James Botting.
That's kind of sad, but also don't be a dick. Even if you're the hangman. Especially don't be a dick if you're a hangman.
So this one, so this next one, seems to be one that a lot of people, I've seen a lot of stories about.
Oh, okay.
Like when I was researching, haunted places. So, this ghost has been seen around a busy public structure in the heart of Brighton. As well as shops, there are also food trucks, and you often have to dodge buses to cross the road.
It's that memorial in I really want to say it's like St. James's Clock or King James's something or other near Churchill Square.
Ooh.
Oh, is it Churchill? No, it's not really Churchill Square.
It is Churchill Square.
It's Churchill Square.
Yeah, public structure.
Oh, I thought, yeah, but that could still mean
in the heart of Brighton.
It could still be a monument.
As well as shops, there are also food trucks, and you often have to dodge buses to cross the road.
There are shops, and there's food trucks near there as well. Look at a map.
So this is the story of Blackbelly.
What?
Blackbelly is a particularly unpleasant apparition, reported to inhabit a large area surrounding Churchill Square shopping centre. So what it's worth noting is that there have actually been no sightings of him inside the shopping centre. This has all happened outside of the shopping centre. Now, the area where Churchill Square used to be Georgian houses, and these were torn down in the 1960s to make way for Churchill Square.
Churchill Square is quite a modern structure I'd say it's like a 90s, early 2000s structure for somewhere was built in the 60s.
Well, no, because Churchill Square got built, and then it was actually around the early, I think it was about 2005 or something. They did a whole load of more work on it.
Okay.
So that's why it's got all that glass structure now and sort of, the shapes. It went through
modernisation.
Yeah. Obviously, there was more money going into Brighton than there was some other places who had to wait much longer for their
monstrosities. Their glass monstrosities. The bacon, you mean?
The bacon?
I call it the bacon.
You call it the bacon now?
I call it the bacon.
It will always be...
One of the letters broken, it just looked like the bacon.
No. It'll always be the Arndale Centre to me, really. So... Yeah, so they reckon that he's a leftover from that. The apparition has been seen since that 1960s. So it was, first of all, they kind of saw him. It was the out-of-town contractors who were there to build to pull down the houses and put the shopping centre in place. They saw him. They think he might also go by the name of Angry Mick.
Angry Mick. That's.
So there's an apparition also called Angry Mick. So it'd be interesting to know if they're actually two different apparitions,
I was like,
or if they're the same
But why is he called Blackbelly?
I'll get to that. He appears to witnesses in the side of their vision, their side vision.
In the side of their visions.
So initially, his appearance doesn't really concern people because he just looks like a normal person, and often he is mistaken to be a living person. However, when witnesses bring their full sight onto the apparition, they become aware that this apparition is actually hovering a couple of inches from the floor. The figure is said to be that of a large, bold man in his late 50s to early 60s. He's wearing a shirt which has come open at the bottom, exposing a large, bloated, bruised stomach.
Oh.
When brought into full sight, the entity is reported to begin wailing hysterically and then charges at the witness in a strangely motionless way, only to disappear when a few feet from the victim.
Okay. That makes what? A motionless way.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of like, flies rather than like.
Oh, like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like yeah. We just did like loads of gestures, and we're like, like rather than
like wave your hands around.
Nobody's gonna hit. No one can't see that.
So there is actually a fairly recent sighting of him. Yeah. So and it involves local telecoms engineer, and also it went as far as the police actually being called.
They're like, we can't arrest a ghost.
Well, they didn't know because like I said, they all think it's real. The police got called, but when they checked the surveillance video, it showed a terrified man reacting to some sort of threat and fleeing from something, but there was nothing there.
Yeah, I was gonna say the answer to that is don't run away like a pillock, but if you don't know it's not there, it's not real, you are still going to run away like a pillock. Although I feel like if you see a large man floating several inches off the ground with a very bruised stomach, I mean, that's a very specific level of like injured. So it's not going to be like
some reason it just every time I sort of have read, because this is the first time I've read about Black Belly. I first read about him probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I just imagine a Francis Bacon painting.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what
So very
that's
sort of, yeah,
very shocking, very the ghost from 13 Ghosts.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some indication that he has maybe been around for even longer than the 1960s.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if he's a remnants of some Edwardian homes.
Well,
He could have,
Georgian.
Georgian homes. He could have been around for what, a good 100 years? Is that Georgian
Yeah,
times?
I mean, it says here there was a tale from 1911 which describes an incident in which 8 residents of Grenville Place claimed to have witnessed an aggressive apparition, and Grenville Place was actually one of the areas that was demolished to make way for Churchill Square as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
And also that's quite like he sounds very spooky, like that's a very threatening character.
he is, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Although it still makes you wonder what if he is in fact real, what his story
Yes.
was.
That would be nice to know if there's like, because there's no tale behind that. That's
No.
just this is
No.
some sightings.
No. Okay, so the next one. A phantom dog is said to roam here, following walkers before vanishing into thin air, and a Victorian figure has been seen here before disappearing into the mist. Where are you?
I want to say like Brighton Beach somewhere.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's around the West Pier area.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
I was like, where do you walk a dog in Brighton?
Yeah. So West Pier is basically the skeleton of the pier. There is nothing but the skeleton of the end promenade.
Yeah. It's mostly fallen down now.
Yeah, it does make for some amazing sort of haunted photos if you are so inclined.
Mm.
There is actually another story where some girls were walking, I think it was at night, they were walking around that area, and they said they saw what looked like like scores of Victorian people having fun. They were like, dipping, in those weird old-fashioned swimming suits and playing on games and that kind of thing before literally disappearing right before their eyes.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's been a couple of stories about this dog. Apparently it's as big as a horse, so that's a bit subjective because horses come in many shapes and sizes.
Is it the bit as big as a pony? That's what they mean. It's like a little...
Maybe. And there were suggestions that it might have been a dog that was owned by a landlord of a nearby pub back in the 1700s.
Okay.
But I can't remember if he was a Newfoundland or a Saint Bernard. But the apparitions of this dog say the dog is white, whereas I've never seen a white Saint Bernard.
No, I was going to say a grey, an Irish wolfhound, but again,
Maybe.
never seen a white Irish wolfhound. They've got huge
Well, I mean,
heads.
they can get quite light, can't they? But then again, it's a ghost.
Yeah,
so...
there you go. It's not going to be like tan and black, is it?
No. Okay. So if you want me to give you clues, by the way, let me know.
Okay.
So in this place, Derek Carver was burnt in a barrel of tar in 1555.
What? What?
Yep.
Sorry, what?
Yep.
Was that like intentionally?
I don't know. And is believed to have been the first brewer in Brighton and the first Protestant martyr in England to have been put to death. That's Derek Carver, not the place, by the way.
Not the barrel of tar.
Yep. Since the 1940s, it's been claimed his ghost haunts the cellar, and in 2006, the manager of the building claimed having felt an unnerving presence in that area on several occasions. A builder in the upper part of the building spotted a shadowy figure in 1995. Where am I?
I'm going to go with like a really old building that I know of in Brighton. I'm going to go with the Cricketers.
No.
No? Okay. Okay, what area of Brighton are we in? Are we talking seafront? Are we talking down some of the lanes?
So yeah, we're in the Northern Lanes area.
Okay. Is it a site with the world's worst 20 questions?
So we have actually been there.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it still a pub?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. It's like I can't remember what anything is. How far from the station is it, would you say?
Probably about 15 minutes walk.
Okay. So the end of...
Yeah, so I would say you're probably about a 10-minute walk from Churchill Square by now.
Okay. Is it the George?
No.
No.
Have we been to the George?
Was it the George? What am I thinking of? The one, the it's across from that really fancy soup place. It's not the George, is it?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
So
So another clue is I used to joke that the weekend was the doorman because there was a guy that looked a bit of him.
I'm going to kick myself when you say this, but I don't know.
The Black Lion.
Oh, okay.
So you were quite, as
I
you were
was
literally
there.
You were literally
I was like, if I'd
there.
have just gone next door, I'd have got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is allegedly where Derek Carver was burnt in a barrel of tar. But guessing from the rest of what I read, that was intentional.
Okay, yeah, that sounds intentional.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, he accidentally fell in a barrel of tar.
Yeah. Okay, so next one. Bottles and glasses would fall off shelves. Doors were heard to slam shut, and footsteps were heard climbing the stairs. On several occasions, a pale man wearing a long black cloak would be spotted by one of the managers. In addition, the grey nun which haunts the lanes has been seen just outside the inn.
Okay. Is it the Druid's Head?
No.
Okay. Again, I'm going to ask, what end of Brighton are we looking at?
So, same area as the Black Lion.
Mm-hmm. The Mesmerist?
No.
The Man of War? Is that what it's called?
Man of War.
No, it's not called the Man of War.
You're thinking of the Fortune of War.
The Fortune of War.
No, that's on the seafront.
Okay. Fortune of War's not on the seafront.
Yeah, there's one on the seafront as well.
Oh,
I'm pretty
is there?
sure of that. Yeah, it's right next to the Tempest.
Ah, yeah, okay. Is it... Oh, I forgot what that place is called. Where you took me and I stole all those candle holders from.
No.
What is that place called?
That was the Walrus.
The Walrus. I am the Walrus.
No. I don't actually know if you've been to this place. I have.
Okay.
And I have taken Lisa there as well.
Okay. Would I walk past it? Have I walked past it?
All the time.
Okay, all the time. I don't know. I really don't know.
The Cricketers.
Are you kidding me? I quit.
I think I've set you up a little bit here.
You son
So yeah, there's actually a story about this grey nun that I read where I don't know if it was a student that was going to Brighton or if it was a student that had maybe come over here on an overseas program. She was approached by this nun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the nun was asking her, maybe if she knew the way to somewhere.
Do you want to hear about our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ?
And she went to answer and the nun disappeared right before her eyes.
Oh, that's
and
creepy.
She started screaming, yeah. There is also another nun known as the Blue Nun that haunts some of the lanes, the more narrow old school ones, because there's apparently a lot of nunneries and convents that used to be around here and rectories and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There's two ghosts in this one.
Okay.
There's one that's always seen from the corner of one's eye. A good description of this spirit has never been forthcoming, although it may be the ghost of a smuggler who died after tripping on the staircase in the basement. However, another ghost that builds the building moves slightly slower. A woman in a red dress has been seen on more than one occasion in the vicinity of the main bar. We have been here.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've been together twice.
Okay.
And I think on both occasions we sat outside.
Okay. That makes me want to say the Druid.
Yes, it is.
It's the Druid. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the Druid's head, sorry. I can speak. Okay, so it is said that this ghost has been spotted by staff and customers.
Mm-hmm.
There's a phantom nun, another nun, wearing a white habit and a black coat, would vanish up a stairwell. The east end of the building used to be a convent, and this building used to be the Debenham store. Now, we have actually been here a lot.
Oh my god.
We've been here, yeah, we probably have been going to this place since the day we moved here. Not every day. That'd be weird.
Oh,
it's not a pub, I'll give you that one.
Oh, it's not a pub.
It's not a pub.
Okay. What end of town are we talking about? City? Are we talking about?
More towards this end now.
Oh, okay. It's not a pub. It's not a pub.
I just want to say that I actually did burp on the just burp now, yeah.
So classy.
So if anybody heard that, I'm really sorry.
Where Primark is?
No.
No?
No.
Oh no, that's way too.
And I think that building's fairly modern.
Is it? I don't think
know.
it's new. It's been gutted, but I don't think it's new. Taj.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you see a nun when you're out there, we're going to get those amazing avocados that they sell.
Or the noodles, or the tofu, just anything.
Anything, really.
Veggies.
It's probably a ghost.
Ooh, what if it's not a ghost and I'm like, a ghost at this poor nun, and she's like, every time I come here.
Yeah, that would be pretty horrible.
She's like, you're a dick.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the last one.
Okay.
So you can let your brain rest after this.
I don't have a brain anymore.
So CCTV taken in the shop has shown a ghostly shadow moving across the floor. Cameras have also recorded guitars gently swaying from side to side and an item falling off the wall with nobody close by.
Is it Gak?
It is!
It's Gak is haunted.
Yeah,
it feels like
everywhere
it's
in
haunted.
Brighton is haunted. I'm pretty sure there's a ghost
Everywhere.
around here somewhere. I mean, there are so many ghosts. There was just so many stories that I probably could write, make a whole series
You
out
could
of
just
them.
do like all your minis. You could be like ghosts in pubs, ghosts in shops.
Yeah, but none of them seem that interesting except for Black Belly.
Oh yeah, Black
I like
Belly.
him.
I like Black Belly. Black Belly's got a robust story. I want more. I want to know more.
Yeah, he's actually doing shit.
Yeah, he's scaring
I mean,
people.
Yeah, whereas like all these other ones just sort of something out the corner of my eye. See, that's just the thing. If people say, "Oh, I saw something out the corner of my eye move," and it's just like, man, that was a shadow.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I saw one from this pub in Littlehampton. I'm not going to name it because I don't want to name and shame. But they put like video up from the CCTV where one of their the story seemed to change as well. That's what made it so weird. Initially, it seemed like it was one of the managers was doing something like taking money out of the cash register, and apparently there was this glowing like movement behind him. And then another story is it was actually a customer, like I don't know, playing at one of the game things, and again saw the moving thing and said, "Oh, can you check the cameras?" And they did, and that's what they spot. It's a reflection of something off of a bit of glass. Come on. How stupid do you really think I am?
Well, evidently somebody's fallen for that.
Yes.
And shame on them.
Yes.
Not the person that's falling for it. Shame on the pub for doing that.
Anywho,
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry if it was a little bit jaunty. It's been a long day, a long week.
It's not even the weekend yet.
I know, I've still got 3 bottles of Prosecco and a party to get through as yet. But please like, share, subscribe.
Rate and review.
Yes, we would love to hear how much you love us. But if you can't bring yourself to say that, then at least give us some constructive feedback.
Yeah.
You can get us on tcrumpetshorror@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram at tcrumpetshorror, and we do have a Twitter, which is tcrumpetshor1. And I will eventually sort out a YouTube, and I'll also...
Why do we need a YouTube?
I don't know, because I like the idea of... I don't know, okay? Jeez, what do you ask these questions for?
Because I'm part of this.
I've had enough now.
All right.
I'm over it.
Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.